feathers or sand soldiers at you from a longer distance. And with the Jinx banned as well, there's a limit in terms of options. Now, EDG, I think Rakan has always been one of On's best champions. Obviously, he gets an advantage as well being paired with the Xayah, so I like the denial coming out here. Lee Sin banned, though, by EDG. They did not want to give that over to SofM, and now potentially looking at the Hecarim, which has faced some bans this series. I do as well.
I love this because the combination, we've seen it throughout playoffs and the regular season. Rakan and Hecarim, they go in together, they keep each other safe, and they can just create chaos in that backside.
Yeah, now for Weibo, they're going to lock in the Nautilus, and I think the Ahri makes sense. Ahri's been a bit underwhelming, but with the Hecarim, it is devastating. I feel like those two, we've seen that duo together quite frequently because of the power they have to dive in, and so it makes sense that they're going to deny it here. But EDG, I mean, they didn't choose the red side, but they get this advantage. They pick the Jayce, and I know what that first ban's going to be. I 100% know what it's going to be.
Malphite.
Well, that might be one of them.
That might be one of them, but I also expect to see the Tryndamere to be banned away right now. There it is. They just took a little
You don't get any points for that prediction.
No. it's like a vowel in Scrabble. It's like you get nothing for that.
Yeah.
It's like so what?
So essentially in this situation, Weibo, it could even target the Azir, right? I don't think it's super on theme with the Hecarim. Something like the Vex would make a lot of sense. But actually, they're often to target AD carries, banning the Aphelios, which, I'm going to be honest, I don't think that's much of a concern for EDG. I feel like they might not have even gone for the Aphelios. I feel like something like the Kai'Sa would fit pretty well, right? Back to Kai'Sa Xayah meta. Life is cyclical. It all ends up in the same place.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
But we've seen EDG run a comp with Jayce and Kai'Sa before with that poke. And also, it's on theme with the Rakan and the Hecarim for diving in. So maybe Weibo ban that as a second ban. The Malphite does come through as something that does well into the Jayce and has that engage. Azir ban. So I actually think EDG probably just take Kai'Sa.
You can take Kai'Sa and Vex. That could be a way to go for this.
I think that'd be solid.
Yeah, there could be a way to go for it, but we'll see what EDG want to do. I would like to pick their AD carry here and then leave their mid lane for last pick so they can kind of round out after seeing the full thing, but we'll wait and see what they want to go for now. Weibo, on the other hand, they've already locked in the Ahri, the Nautilus, and the Xayah. It's curious to see now what jungle matchup they're going to be able to go for, and the funny thing is, we've gone from banning multiple to... Ooh, okay! You got shock and awe on the guns right now in the bot lane.
And I mean, it goes on with the theme that auto attacks are useless at the moment, right? The ultimate, very
Season
difficult.
3, Amumu and Misfortune just bang, bang, bang.
The ultimate, very difficult to play into as a Xayah because, you know, you basically, if you go to the Lethality, you don't have Gale Force. If you're trapped in the ultimate, then it's just going to completely shred through you, especially with the engaged tools you have.
Jungle. That's a Zed jungle being locked in here for SofM. So, SofM, the weird and wonderful, still keeps coming. I will say you are very light, I would say, in terms of the AP damage, but in terms of the composition, you see champion, you kill champion.
Yeah, 100%, and a lot of pick potential. I feel like, you know, the Sylas is definitely something that would match what they have so far. Goes really well into the Ahri. There's some great ultimates to steal away. The Nautilus, the Ahri, the Gragas, fantastic.
Yep.
But this Zed... it's a spicy one. Would be SofM to bring this out, right?
I mean, if any jungler was going to play this, it was going to be SofM. But locked and loaded now. And again, I think Weibo are kind of saying to themselves, look, we have an opportunity to try something that's a little bit different. We can throw a little bit of a spanner in the works because EDG are the ones 2-1 down. If Weibo get an early advantage with this composition, they snowball so fast.
And critically, something to say is that one of the things with Zed jungle is he clears super fast,
yes.
right? Once a camp's under half HP, he can just auto it repeatedly and proc his passive. His passive has a cooldown on champions, not on camps. That's why he has such a fast clear. That's why when they actually, I think they've raised the cap. That's why he did come into the meta. But here against the Hecarim, one of the big things we've seen when people go up against the Hecarim is invading him, stealing away camps, challenging early because he's vulnerable.
Yep.
Post 6, completely different story. So I think we could see SofM looking to branch on that and really try and dominate over Jiejie, who, let's be real, has had a rough series so far.
Yeah, even in the win there, we saw Jiejie constantly getting caught out, constantly being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And what better time for a Zed to come out to find that wrong place and wrong time for, you know, for SofM. So for the side of Weibo Gaming, they have an awful lot of, you know, tools available to them. The Gragas will mitigate a lot of what the Jayce will do on the top side. We've seen it on the opposite side of this for TheShy. We also know that TheShy is one of those players that doesn't matter what he's playing. The solo kill potential is always very much there. Yeah. And I think that Angel has had pretty decent performances on, even last game I thought he had a decent performance on the Ahri. Again, you're just against the gods, so there's not really much, there's not much wriggle room for you there.
Yeah, I will say though, I feel like if we do get to the team fighting stage. I like EDG's composition better. The Jayce is so exceptional if he doesn't get punished early and he's able to scale up. The Sylas has so many great ults to steal. The MF, the Rakan, the Hecarim. This is a very good team fighting comp for Weibo. It's more about those picks, but I feel like they want that early momentum going into this one too.
We'll have to wait and see as we jump into Game 4. We're jumping back onto the Rift. Weibo still in the advantage, still looking like the slightly better team. Took a godlike performance in Game 3. We'll see if EDG can replicate that, because Lord knows they're going to need it.
100%, man. You know, and I feel like hopefully that's helped them. Hopefully that's feel like, right, we can have some momentum. But it's still, Flandre had such a rough game on the Jayce. He has a better matchup now, though. Essentially, the downside of playing the Gragas is Gragas is good at setting up ganks, right? Especially when he gets the Everfrost. Very easy to land that CC for the Zed. And that's kind of true across all 3 lanes. There was a lot of CC for SofM just go in and provide the damage. Zed's ganks typically aren't that strong unless his lanes have set up. So I think that's an important factor.
Scout,
not again.
What are you doing there, buddy? He takes his dash and should be just fine, but that is going to be almost certainly him going to try and burn through his pots earlier than he probably wanted to. And again, there's just no real need for that right there. You're not gaining anything.
He's trying to get a ward over the wall, essentially, is the play. This is quite a common thing where people go to that and place the ward over the wall, and then they get some information in the jungler, which is especially important in this matchup against the Zed when you have a Hecarim, right? The issue is, you know, last game they caught him out doing this. This game as well, they've clearly prepped and they're ready. And I feel like making mistakes like this, as much as this one that wasn't too impactful, right? Still, it's not a nice position to be put in, to be down on your pots already.
Absolutely, you're down on your pots. You know, don't lose a summoner, thankfully, as Flandre takes a little bit of an unfavorable trade on the top side. But obviously, misfortune. First time we've really seen it at all this split this year, I think, if I'm being 100% correct in terms of major regions. But tell me about it. What do you want it to wait? What way do you want it to work? How do you want to function around it? And what's its strength/weakness?
Well, it is outright a really big lane bully, right? Especially into the Xayah. The Xayah kind of functions around the fact that, like, you want to push into her, she has the feathers down, she can win all ins effectively. But against the MF, you can harass with your E, you can bounce the bullets into them. And then once you have level 6, essentially your ult is such a great team fighting tool. There's so much AoE CC between the likes of the Rakan and the Hecarim. Your goal is just to get a big ult off the back, and then anyone who gets close, you have just that raw auto damage with your passive to burst them out. Like, bear in mind, sure, the Gragas is going to be a bit tanky, but the Zed, the Ahri, if they get in range of you, an auto will really sort them out.
As well as that, you know, the double up poke damage that you're able to get, it does crit immediately on the second part of it if you are able to kill a minion on the other side of it. So on the first bit to the second bit, it can do an awful lot for you. So we'll see how this pick goes. And honestly, if it was anyone else in the league, I'd be being, I don't know about that one, Chief, but it's Viper. Yeah. This guy is just a god tier AD carry in any league.
And I feel like things like MF have been a bit underrated, but it's been because we've had such strong presence from things like Jinx and Aphelios. The nerfs that came in, even though they were slight, it kind of gave some room for more innovation, more picks to come out. And clearly in a series like this, where like Zeri, Jinx have repeatedly been banned, Aphelios isn't working, I like that they have something ready to offer. Now, critically, Jiejie hasn't been spotted.
No, he hasn't. Both teleports have been used here. Well, actually, only one teleport. TheShy in a lot of trouble here. They're waiting for the flash to come out, and he will eventually get it, but he'll get cantered all the way back. They're jumping in. First blood goes over to Flandre, and they're able to mitigate SofM's impact on that top side.
Yeah, really nicely done, and that is one thing to be said. The Hecarim's a pretty fast clearer as well, so matches the Zed on the top side, and they're able to find the gank first. And you can't even blame TheShy, because by all means, he felt like he should have been safe there. He felt like he had his jungler come in, he had the vision, and just ends up getting caught out. Now, he does have the TP to get back up. The wave is in a pretty rough spot for him, but ultimately, we can see Jiejie heading bot side, so it shouldn't be too much of a concern. But yeah, I mean, you have your jungler coming up, you have the Scuttle Crab there.
Even hit the Scryer's Bloom.
Yeah, and Jiejie does it so well, because normally it's very hard to gank a target with Flash with the Hecarim, because when you E them backwards, they just flash and they end up going the other way. But he was so patient with it, using the Ghost to make sure he could keep up and then overtake him at the end. And a good successful gank. You've gotten the Jayce ahead, right? And we saw in Game 2 from TheShy what a Jayce can do with a lead.
Absolutely, and something that we kind of can see consistently in this series is the top lane priority from both of these guys. You know, Weibo and EDG showing in different games that they want to try and work around this. This time around, it is going to be Jiejie saying, look, Flandre, I'm very sorry about Game 4, or sorry, Game 3. Game 4 will be different. We'll get you some resources, and that's exactly what you said when we talked with the Jayce very much at the earlier start of the day, is that you need to give this Jayce time, you need to give him resources, otherwise, similar to Game 3, he won't really have that big of an impact.
Yeah, I mean, Jayce is one of these champions that we've seen scale exceptionally well, but you're kind of conditional on the fact that you're ahead of the curve in terms of your items. And the thing is, you only offer damage, so if you're behind, you really feel useless. So does need investment, does need resources, but then will deliver massively throughout the game from then on. Do you see a lot of action though? TheShy is doing well in these trades. I feel like this is a specialty of TheShy, where like in matchups where you wouldn't expect him to trade well, particularly in a Jayce, right? We've seen him on the Sion winning trades against Ahri somehow, and similarly here, he's making Flandre work for this laning phase.
Yeah, it really is. And Ward just died there as Jiejie walked over it, so should be recognizing that he's been pretty much found out there. You'll see the little death mark, or the death shadow of the ward, so they know they're not going to be able to get anything here. They back themselves away. We see a little bit of an engage coming out now into this bot side, but there's a Nautilus at the end of the day, so still very tanky, even if he does go with that Glacial Augment.
Yeah, and see a lot of trade and a lot of back and forth. You know, the Ignite from the Nautilus and the fact that Nautilus is pretty strong in the laner phase compared to Rakan definitely goes a long way. So I think he went for the cast, wasn't quite able to find it. It was actually, TheShy put Flandre in a really uncomfortable position here because he froze the wave. Now SofM has ult. That's the thing with the Zed, right? You clear so fast, already level 6. That's some crazy stats.
That's from 2022. 19 KDA and 100% win rate. I believe he played it once. I believe so.
It was a good game.
It was a good game, allegedly, and Weibo now trying to see if they can replicate that. And again, it is not really that much of a difference between the gold. It is fairly even apart from that one thing. But with knowing that SofM was up on that top side, you now have got pressure in this bot lane. So we can see here, yeah, as he said, that the TheShy just missed on the ground. If he lands that, it's an instant dead Jayce.
Yep, 100%. That's the thing that you're going to be careful for. That's the power of the Gragas in this matchup, is being able to set up those ganks. We kind of saw that earlier. I believe it was game 2. When they were repeatedly setting up the ganks on TheShy, and obviously trying to do the same in reverse. Dragon going to be secured by EDG, right? They're up in gold thanks to that kill onto the Jayce, but overall things have been fairly even across the board. I think it's important that it is a Hecarim in this matchup against the Zed, because if there's no action and you're playing a slower clear jungler, you can often see them fall really far behind farm, but Hecarim, he's got far, but he's going in.
Got it. He's going to go in. He gets the prediction down. There goes the death mark down, an instant exhaust onto SofM, so he shouldn't really have the damage, but it does not matter if you're that low. He goes back to the shadow, and now Meiko and Scout on the wrong side of this fight. Meiko going to flash. Scout going to follow him over. They will have a dredge line in just a second. Charm coming up as well. They're not quite able to make it work, because Scout thought maybe you get the abduct. At the end of it all, it is just a one-for-none trade. Lots of summoners burned on either side.
I'm just going to question the game plan there from Jiejie, because the problem is, right, there was 3 targets. One of them is a Nautilus, not the best target. One of them is a Zed who will just ult when you charge. Ult when you charge in, avoid your fear and turn it around. The other one is an Ahri who again has so much mobility, so he dives in such a questionable manner, because I just feel like you're not going to find the angle.
There we go. I was wondering why Huanfeng didn't have his ultimate. Had to use it because the double up, which we talked about earlier, was coming in, and then as you said, this weird kind of engage, he doesn't really have a good target.
Yeah, he fears the Ahri but can't get behind it because of the ult charge. Tries to charge SofM, but SofM just presses R and avoids the CC. It just wasn't a good fight to take, and ultimately they end up paying quite heavily in terms of summoners as well.
Yeah, they do. They lose both flashes off of their mid and support. And obviously the first onslaught of Shadows, not exactly the most impactful in the game so far, but we come back in and we did see a flash being burnt by Huanfeng as Viper found himself an opportunity, because you can't cleanse a bullet time. You're either in it or you're out of it. That's just the end of it.
That's literally it. And I mean, again, one of the issues where I feel lethality makes sense in general. It's the Xayah build we see. Also into MF, you want the extra range, but the fact that you don't have a Gale Force means if you want to get out of the bullet time, you're either using your ult to reposition, but it's not going to get you that much distance, or you're flashing.
As we come now up to about the 10-minute mark, first Dragon went over to EDG, the next one will be spawning in just under 3 minutes time. Jiejie will have his Onslaught of Shadows back available to him as Huanfeng is here. The smite comes out as Jiejie says thank you very much. Takes away some of these little Krugs now, the little rocks that kind of come out from it, and we are going to see a lot more pressure towards this bottom lane as we now see Flandre getting kicked off by TheShy. Flashes away immediately. They're going to be able to slow him down. SofM trying to just run, but not quite in position until he able to use his flash and goes right back to the R shadow, and that is going to be TheShy picking up that kill. But in the bot lane, they know there's no flash, there's no ult here on Huanfeng, and they're going to be able to try and pepper him down. Viper takes a lot of damage, pops down the bullet time, but not quite at the perfect angle to try and force out anything else. Angel is here, Scout with a stolen Spirit Rush, trying to see if they can get onto Huanfeng, who has finally got his ultimate available to him. They're going to jump straight on top of him. He's going to be able to tank out the turret, but he gets a kill before he's taken down. Now On is underneath the tower, but with Angel in tow, they cannot go for any more.
And it just feels messy here, right? You know, they managed to force Huanfeng. He got so low on the back of that play, but he gets to turn around with the feathers onto Meiko. Ends up being that one-for-one trade, and they're not really able to capitalize on anymore. There's still a lead for Viper, right? Picking up the plates. Still an advantage in CS, and we're seeing that lane bullying come out, but wasn't quite as flawless as they'd hoped. They go for the initial engage. Meiko very lucky to be able to get out of that one. And then it's just hope coming out from Viper. The ult comes in, E comes in as well later on, and Huanfeng is like trying to hold the ult for as long as possible, and patiently does. So waits for the ult coming out from Jiejie, and great CC layering with On to end up trading the kill. Just a bit scuffed from EDG, but also really good execution from Weibo.
Yeah, absolutely, and then because of that, the game stays at a very similar state that it was 2 minutes before it. So minutes till the dragon spawns. We are going to be missing out on a couple of key summoners. On does not have flash, nor does Huanfeng. You are also missing flash off TheShy and SofM. So again, big key summoners not available to you, but you have got that stride breaker now for the Zed. Already up about, actually not up any gold whatsoever, but has been able to get out back onto the map with that item before Jiejie can get himself onto the Chemtech.
Yeah, he's strong right now, SofM. You know, this is the standard build as he goes to stride breaker. If you ult onto a target, you can just stride breaker instantly slow them. Obviously with Zed you can slow if you E from your shadows, but just trying to make sure that you're sticky. You stick to the target, you have the damage, and able to deliver. But I gotta talk about Viper this game, right? 600 gold up, has the Eclipse already, and we often talk about different item curves compared to like a crit AD carry, lethality AD carry. They're both lethality right now, so you have that lead over Huanfeng. You're going to be in a prime position when it does come to fight. He's looking right now.
There we go. There's the bullet time. Huanfeng has nothing. And that is the difference in the misfortune versus the Xayah.
And critically, maxing E for that even stronger slow, so we can't walk out of it. Ult is just coming up now, and that one with Weibo losing the AD carry, I don't think they're in a position to contest this dragon.
No, they are not. They're going to have to try and just give this one up. They drop down Shelly into that mid lane to try and get a couple of plates. They did get them, but they cannot push back the bot lane. They cannot control the mid, and now we're going to see them actually maybe still look for an engage here. They know there's no bullet time, and Xayah's already coming back up, so Huanfeng should be here very, very soon. They're going to get the catch out here on top of Meiko, but he gets himself out, but not quite before the dragon and the Deathmark can come in. It's a trade of support, but importantly here, again, Huanfeng's back in the picture.
Yeah, he is, but the ult now burned from SofM. A lot of power lost, but ults are gone across the board. I think EDG go, right, that's enough. We're not going to go for it again. Viper again, trying to cheese Huanfeng. He's found him.
Huanfeng, you can't take this fight, my friend. He's going to get the feathers to come back to stop Jiejie from coming in, but still takes an unfavorable trade, and there's a 2-level difference between these AD carries.
Yeah, I mean, well, MF really can bully out the lane, and Viper's been applying it. The team have been playing for him, knowing what he can do on this pick. But Huanfeng feeling confident with the ult flash. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? What can you do? If you don't have the flash, you don't have the ult, you're just caught in it now. They end up going onto Meiko. Meiko survives for a long time because Rakan, you just press R, you end up CCing the Zed when he comes out. The Nautilus ult from Scout as well means he has to disengage, and they have the chase down potential. Just ends up being a trade. And now Weibo, though, they have priority on the dragon. They're going to head over there. A lot of tools not available for EDG, and they're going to approach slowly, but they're not going to get there in time. They're not going to want to contest this. You really can't be fighting without the Hecarim ult, without the Rakan ult.
Yeah, the quickness and the onslaught of shadows are just too powerful. The bullet time has just come back off of cooldown, so they will be able to get that one there. And unfortunately for either side, there's a Cloud Soul coming out onto the Rift. So again, not the highest of priorities in terms
Nah, dude. If I'm EDG,
okay, with the Hecarim.
Dude, with the Hecarim Rakan, I'm like, yes, give me a Cloud Soul. I'll take 2 of them. Honestly,
they can get 3.
Yeah, I mean, take all the dragons, take the soul. Like, the thing is, Rakan, one of the best users of the Cloud Soul, because when you pop that ult, you want that extra movement speed. Really helps you zip around a fight or get that potential engage. And with Hecarim, more speed is more damage.
Yeah, well, speaking of more damage, EDG have set themselves up now and towards this bot side. They've got Flandre covering in mid. A Scout tries to maybe make something work. Meiko goes in, finds SofM.
He's so bold.
He's so bold. Now they know the rest of them are here. Angel is coming down to cover. some decent poke coming out here from the Viper Misfortune, but it's not going to lead to anything. And this is a similar thing we see now when teams are so close in terms of their skill level. It's tit for tat. It's who makes a mistake, who makes an outplay. That ends up being the difference. And so far, neither team is making that big pivotal mistake.
It's still so close. Dragon apiece, 4 kills to 4, 200 gold lead. Basically nothing, right? And you have to think about where the gold is, right? That's definitely a relevant factor because the AD carries, there is a substantial difference. TheShy kind of had a lot of alone time. This is not being the focal point. You know, we saw some early pressure towards top. For the time being, EDG, Flandre and TheShy have just been scaling up the top side. And that's fine for the Jayce, right? We talked about this before, and I want to hone in on the spikes. Tears stacking up nicely for EDG. Viper's going to have his man immune soon. Flandre won't be too far away. That is a really significant spike for them. But the thing is, I feel like Weibo's curve is kind of similar, right? They will spike in the mid game, but as it gets to team fights, EDG, I think, hold the power advantage.
Yeah, you get the poke that can come in from the Jayce on the side. We obviously talked about the accelerated shot blasts. TheShy does miss out on his belly bop, and now here comes Jiejie. They're committing a TP as well. TheShy is deleted before his explosive blast can come out. There's the quickness in onto SofM, but he can't go anywhere else. He has to use the debt market, flash away straight away. But they've got the stolen spirit rush, and they've got to be able to catch him out. He goes straight back into the loving arms of Jiejie, and that's 2 kills over to the Hecarim. All of a sudden, EDG have found themselves a go button, and Weibo are scattered.
They have the chase potential. They manage to take out TheShy. One missed skill shot. The belly poop goes wide, and they're instantly there to capitalize. The TP comes in, and Jiejie, we were critical. We had some harsh words, which were needed, and he is having now a great game on this pick, 4 1-on-1. EDG won't even lose their mid-tier 1 Viper Meiko there to cover, and things are looking good.
Looking very good for the moment. They get the Rift Herald. They're able to cover off mid lane as well. They drop that towards top lane, so they're going to be able to pick up a little bit more extra gold. And we talked about the gold was 200. After this, it's going to be 2,000. Yeah,
really snowballing it quickly. And again, this is when EDG are about to hit those big spikes, where they will feel really significant.
TheShy, they needed a little bit of CC to land on them, or just to walk forward. Remember, you still have the bullet time. A little bit of CC to lock people up would be good, but there's going to be 2 turrets now going over in favor of EDG, and it took them 3 games.
It's 3K now. You said well, just under.
I was going to say that they are waking up finally.
Yeah, and this is rough for Weibo. You know, EDG bounced back from that being 2-0 down. Now with the lead here, looking to continue that reverse streak, and the pressure definitely weighing on their opponents. But Weibo's still continuing. And the thing is, they still have tools. Pick potential, absolutely a massive thing we want to be looking out on Weibo. As much as they're 5v5, they're full structured, everyone there, team fights are a bit weaker. When there's less people there, they can find the advantage. And that's what, you know, I feel like TheShy was kind of looking for here was a bit of a pick, but it's EDG are so sharp to respond. Jiejie's had to turn on TheShy, and Scout comes in with this beautiful TP flank. So when SofM goes over the wall, he gets chased down.
Yeah, and again, look, just the mobility you have with that stolen spirit rush, it means that, look, you come back, it's like, all right, hello, there's nothing else for you to do. If it wasn't Jiejie, it was someone else. It's
so massive for a Sylas, who's that skirmisher who wants to stick to his targets, especially when they're so mobile, like the Ahri, the Zed. Having the able to steal all the way is such a significant one when it comes to this fight.
Oh, Flandre gets 1v1'd.
Bro. It's TheShy. It doesn't matter what champ he's on.
Sorry, I'm loving the bro reaction, but here we go. They're going to jump onto Viper, but immediately the quickness stops any kind of damage from coming out. They're going to try to get Angel in with the Spirit Rush and the Charm, but not quite able to land anything. 2 big ultimates were invested. Nothing was gained. 10 seconds till Dragon spawns, and you do have a TP on Flandre.
Yeah, so I love the play from Weibo, right? You get the solo kill on the top side. Like, I'm confident that we can go, that we can set up. We'll get a quick replay of that. I think this is just going to be CC layering, right? The Everfrost might be the first to catch it. Actually,
literally
the body slam, Everfrost, and Flandre just disrespects it. I mean, I guess the barrel, you can't really walk out of it, because as soon as you get to the edge, you'll pop it. But TheShy lands everything, and that's enough. Yeah,
it lands everything, and that means that it's going to be a solo kill for the top side. Scout on the back side here. TP did come in, so Flandre is here. Full 5v5. On goes a little bit too far forward, and now down to about a third of his HP. Scout is waiting for someone to just be on the wrong side of this fight. Meiko trying to just clear out some of this vision to make sure they can't just be safe with it. But here we go. SofM gets caught out. He has to jump back on the shadow. It's Flandre. He takes down the Nautilus, but the Viper has been killed. They steal the death mark. As Scout goes in, goes golden, flashes away, and now TheShy is caught between a rock and a hard place. The Dragon is going to do an awful lot of work, but right now it is all about Weibo running away and trying to keep these helpers. I will say, they got to be very careful. There's the exhaust. They finally take him out, but I don't think they can go for the Dragon.
what TheShy, look how much damage he dealt. He dealt more than the Jayce. Did so much
he dealt
work.
more than every single person on his team combined.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? TheShy actually doing so much in this game on this Gragas. Has the Everfrost and obviously the Fimbulwinter, but just survived for so long. Looks like they are going to turn on it, should be able to pick up this dragon. So second dragon goes to EDG, and the team fight was an absolute win for them. TheShy made it difficult.
Made it very, very difficult. It was a little bit risky. We'll have a look at the replay, I'm sure, now in a very few seconds. I want to see what happened with Viper as we come back into this one here, because he didn't get to use his flash or his ultimate, and I think he just gets caught out by TheShy.
I think, well, we'll see how it actually panned out, but essentially Viper got caught quite early, and then the result of the play is we see Scout diving in pretty aggressively. SofM already low. Ends up being the Nautilus catching him. Feathers connecting with Charm. Not much you can do when you've been hit by the first skill shot. Scout able to solo out SofM, and then much damage here. And it's like the thing when you're going against all these melee champions with the Gragas, it's so valuable here because your belly slam, whenever it hits a target, the cooldown is reduced by a flat 3 seconds. That's why you often stack ability haste on the Gragas, so you can just repeatedly body slam, body slam, body slam, and you see how much value he can have against the dive threats of EDG.
Yeah, and again, you see as well, the Fimbulwinter, there's the flat HP is just solid to keep him going. He is one of those few champions that has a very, very good scaling with a single stat line. You know, think of like Singe and mana, or Rise and mana, and stuff like that. He's there with health, but they're going to jump now onto the backside. It's SofM now in a lot of trouble. You're going to try and cover the death mark stop as well, but Meiko needs to be so careful. They want to try and cover all avenues of escape. At the end of it, he does end up getting out. The bullet time will be used to try and get Huanfeng, but Huanfeng is too wise to those tricks now. Yeah,
so a lot of stuff traded there. Ultimately, SofM ends up down the flash, so more of a disadvantage for Weibo, but no one ends up going down. The big spikes have come in, right? If you look at all those lethality champions, Eclipse on all 3, Manamune fully stacked on all 3. A lot of damage being thrown down right now, and all 3 of them really significant at this point. And I feel like TheShy needs a bit more armor before he can withstand some of this burst. But the Gragas definitely going to remain relevant throughout this one. Hexflash coming in and looking.
Jiejie tried to get, well, actually it's On who tried to get on top of Jiejie, but he gets feared off immediately. They almost get him with the double up. TheShy was so close to being knocked back into there, but they do end up getting On back out of there, and that's all that matters for the side of Weibo. They keep their support, they keep their vision control.
It's so scary playing right now against these champs who are spiking. They do so much damage. Like, you misstep for a millisecond, and you just get deleted. And that's why I feel like in terms of the support matchup, oh no.
No, Flandre, but it might all be a bit of a bait as they go try back in, but Flandre's already dead, and Meiko, he thought he had an opportunity, and now Viper needs to flash away and try and maybe keep himself alive here, but I don't think he's got anywhere to go. EDG were doing so well, but they just bit off more they can chew. They're going to lose the Baron here, almost certainly, but in the bot side, Scout is split pushing.
Yeah, Scout does have TP. A 2v5 here would be insane, but we saw more insane things last game.
I mean, we did. It depends on what Ultimate's able to take. I think they just have to give this one up. I don't think there's much places they can go. It will take a while for Weibo to take this down. They don't have the fastest Baron in the world, but it is still going to be a Baron to Weibo.
And this is what Weibo's comp can do so well, those picks, right? Especially when you're playing a Jayce, you are vulnerable. And Flandre, this has not been the best series for him. Picked off again, and it ends up snowballing. The cascade results in enough dead for Weibo to secure that Baron. Gold is dead even still, but they have the buff they can use to try and start taking things on the map. On top of that, the experience, Huanfeng now up in levels compared to Viper. You before even said there was a 2-level lead for Viper. Flip now, and TheShy has just been really excellent on this Gragas. Body slam in range, Everfrost secures the cask, and then the follow-up is there. The problem is Meiko tries to save him, and it snowballs. You now don't have your Rakan, who's not there to peel for Viper. Because you don't have that peel, Viper also dies. It could have just been one pick, but they refused to let it go.
Yeah, well, I will say now with the Dragon spawning just over a minute's time, it should be Weibo equaling up that score as the gold lead pretty much goes to dead even. There is a bit of standing gold here for the side of Weibo. They've got a couple of, well, just the one outer turret in the bot lane just to take there, but Jiejie is kind of hiding himself now as On puts himself in his bot side. They may be looking to try and get a pick, and this would kill the momentum here for Weibo. Feels like they know something is up. They know that there's going to be an advantage or someone is around here that isn't just here. Yeah, he knew.
You have to be so sus. Why is there a control ward in this brush, right? Why are we
Why was there a very fresh ward right on this corner? But there's an explosive cast. Flandre will not get fully knocked back. as Jiejie will be able to get him back. Ooh, good poke there back on the Huanfeng. But while this is all happening, yes, you're getting a tier 1, tier 2 on the top side, though, is being split pushed by Scout, and this is still a good move for EDG.
Yeah, I mean, they're trading positively at the moment. The thing is, as much as Jiejie wasn't able to find anything, he did delay Weibo's push, but now they have 2 minion waves pushing in. SofM, once again, similar to the Lee Sin earlier in the series, he's the hardest one to pin down, so he goes in the solo lane, applies that pressure. Do you see EDG trying to mitigate the pressure here? Or big
massive
flank?
TP flank coming in. There's going to be another one. Flandre has to flash away as Angel uses the charm. Jiejie does spot out SofM, so they know this one's going down. The biggest flank in the history of flanks. If he gets caught out by one ward, it's all for naught, but I don't think he's going to be. They're going to jump in. They find Angel as Scout steps forward once again on being peppered down there. He gets himself a stolen death mark as they get traded off, but it's going to be better than yours, and they can finally start putting down the damage on the Huanfeng, who goes in up into his ultimate to try and keep himself alive, and TheShy's been trading this one back. It's still pretty good for the side of Weibo, but EDG get 4 for 2.
EDG, they shut down the Baron, they win out the trades. TheShy does everything he can to try and mitigate it, but it just isn't enough. Once again, killing out Flandre. But the dive potential, the long flank ends up paying off huge. And EDG pick up that 3rd dragon and manage to... I mean, the gold's even again. I say it's not even a gold lead, but they have done... It's just been such a back and forth. And I got to say, Jiejie on this Hecarim, 6-1 and 5. What a comeback game.
Much better performance from Jiejie so far this series. The first 2 games wasn't really super great. Even the 3rd one, it was very much Scout. But this game right here, he's syncing up and he only has one eye. So the call right now is get Angel. That is the call, and they've executed perfectly.
Yeah, they don't let him have a chance to use his ultimate, right? And then SofM knows he doesn't have the damage to turn around. Jiejie is a tank. Scout has Zhonya's. And actually, Scout ends up using it quite late in this fight. Could have avoided the deathmark damage a bit more. But either way, still pops it, makes it so Huanfeng has to overcommit to turn around the kill, and then it's just a chase down from the Hecarim. And obviously, Hecarim popped the Ghost, it resets whenever you get a takedown, so it has it for that whole extended play.
And again, you look at what was used there on the side of Weibo. You've got, you know, all of Huanfeng's summoners. You now have flashes, though, back on SofM, TheShy and Angel. You're going to have the same, though, on the side of EDG. It's their bot lane.
Meiko's so bold. He just doesn't care.
He has to not care, really. He has to kind of be the one to push forward because the Rakan's the only one who can get out.
Yeah, 100%. And it's... I feel like that was something I was bringing up earlier and I got interrupted, is that, you know, when there's so much pick potential, when there's so much engage potential, it's a lot better being on a Rakan who can get out again than something like a Nautilus on being punished a few times in this game. Now, do you see both teams posturing, looking for a potential fight? I feel like Weibo, they want the pick, not the 5v5.
Yeah, they do not want it. SofM down to about half HP. Scout going to steal whichever ultimate he wants. He chose the Nautilus right now. They have got everyone corralled around the pit, and that's a very dangerous place to be. You're going to get hit by these shock blasts, and they are going to start to do damage on the right targets. You now have pressure here for EDG in the mid lane, and the Weibo on the wrong side. But that being said, Scout gets caught out a little bit. He's going to have to try and dash himself away. He will get dredge lined down, and they have to go back to his rescue. It's a little bit scattered right now as a hook does land. It's onto Meiko. He flashes away. Angel has to use the Spirit Rush as the ultimate from the side of Viper was coming down. Flandre still putting out some decent DPS, but they finally find Angel. There's the explosive cast to try and reset this one as SofM gets himself off the backside of this one. They're trying to get the quickness out as Meiko does eventually fall. TheShy is still very big, and TheShy is still very, very scary as they finally take the fight. It's scrappy. It's all over the place. Triple kill for SofM as EDG come out the worst as they lose 4 and only gain 3.
And they just couldn't pin down SofM with the Zed dipping and diving around the fight. The back and forth weren't able to connect. And I feel like EDG overcommitted. They felt, we are strong, we're gaining the advantage, but people kept overcommitting. I will say, though, this horse cannot be stopped right now. But, you know, Scout gets chunked in this one. I just think, like, you can hone in on SofM, right, playing around the sides. So much ends up getting burned here, which is why he gets the freedom to sort of clean up. And sure, like, the ult comes down, but it's like 2 ults burn. Angel disengages, and then Scout commits with his life and basically ends up trading his life here to try and finish them off.
Look at Huanfeng and TheShy. They're not really touched in this fight until very, very late. And even then, Flandre has to fully commit alongside Meiko to maybe take him out. That's what makes this trade so scary for the side of EDG. If they don't take down the Xayah, the Baron's gone.
Yeah, and then SofM still the ult at the end of the fight to finish off. Had the flash to finish off Viper. And I'm going to say, rare mistake from Viper.
Yep.
Just ran up to try and finish off the Xayah and ends up just getting booped by TheShy on this Gragas. Not the best team fight from him. But Gold, still dead even, right?
Yep.
16 kills to 15. Soul in a minute 15. And when things are this close, Soul will make a huge difference, especially with the comp EDG has. That extra, just the movement speed for everyone, but the ult speed as well for those big engages.
I will say as well for EDG, you know, you're not in a position where you have to fight for this. If you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel like you don't want, you know, you don't feel like you can take this, they are going to try and maybe force for this mid lane. Here we go. Viper gets caught out by TheShy. He gets himself on the backside, but he can't get him. They peel off for him. TheShy goes golden to try and keep himself alive. He will. Scout goes down. Now, there's SofM. He gets exhausted immediately, gets charmed up. The bullet time is stopped straight away as Angel is finding his mark. SofM finally falls down. So, unfortunately, for the side of Weibo, they can't go for any of the big objectives.
Yeah, I mean, EDG managed to peel so well. TheShy, it looked like he just picked him. Flandre's got out!
Flandre gets caught!
Not again!
That is just criminal right now. EDG will not be able to defend. You would have said, look, even without their jungler on the side of Weibo, they would have been hesitant. But Flandre dying is, oh no. Oh, Meiko. Oh, buddy. You didn't need to do that. Just walk. It's good for your health.
EDG.
Just walk.
If they lose this, they're out. We've said it before, we set it up. They don't get second chances, and Flandre and Meiko getting caught. The thing is, right, you know, the fight loss was rough, but there was still Jiejie alive. There were still numbers there who could at least ward them off. Losing Flandre meant that the Dragon is forfeit, but now losing Meiko, they could head over to the Baron and posture around it quite aggressively and
gain
TheShy,
full control. Yeah,
I mean, this was a beautiful flank for TheShy, but Meiko so snappy on the CC, so he just couldn't cast him. The cast actually kind of whiffed there by TheShy. Actually, no, I think it was the stone cast. Regardless, we see this big turnaround play come in. They managed to take out SofM pretty quickly, but Angel just doesn't let Viper play the game.
And look at the picture-in-picture. Just like you mentioned,
yes,
the Baron.
Let's go back to live.
We got to go back to live. This is, again, EDG backs to the ropes. They got to make sure they do not get Haymaker. They got to make sure that they do not lose this series now. You can see the damage in that last fight. Angel stepping up big. We talked about it, even though the Azir was the talking point in Game 3. Angel on this Ahri has been exceptional, has been very, very solid. And not only that, but also coming out with some serious items right now, all the way up to 3, and they're just going to wait until those, you know, the Everfrost, the Zhonya's, all those big key engages are going to be up, and then Weibo should be able to go for another fight. And
they can just keep fishing for picks, right? I feel like EDG have the better tools in the 5v5, but Weibo have just been performing so well. This Zed has been such a relevant pick. It's like, even if Zed, like in the last fight, SofM didn't necessarily achieve much individually, but so much mental energy from EDG, so many cooldowns, so much investment is dedicated to trying to deal with him.
Yeah,
that charm as well was so well played. And Flandre has been sloppy, right? Not even a mild sort of, well, not even a mild statement to say TheShy has just been vastly outperforming in this series.
Yeah, he's been outperformed by TheShy and underperforming in his own setup. So again, it's just going to come down to EDG making sure that they cross their T's, dot their I's. Don't give the inch to Weibo, because they will take several miles. Now, coming into this potential Baron fight, we do see a couple of different ultimates. Scout finally going towards it. Look at SofM. He's nowhere near this Baron, but he's on a massive flank.
Yeah, he's looking. They will have spotted him, though. And EDG want to engage. They want to start the fight before they have a chance to get picked off. They don't want to allow a flank potentially come in. Scout's looking.
They're going to go for it. There's the stolen cast going in. Scout. Oh, Huanfeng taking a huge chunk out of him. He's going to see the Everfrost coming out. And Scout's actually doing some pretty damn decent damage. They go in. The feathers flying. That Scout dead. TheShy was trying to take out Viper, but Viper's able to survive. SofM now in a little bit of trouble. Has to flash over the wall, but he will be feared and taken down by the onslaught of shadows. Flandre goes back in to do some more damage, but it is still a 1 for 3. Important for EDG, though. They didn't lose their jungler.
Yeah, I mean, Jiejie has been so good in this one as well. If you go in the Baron pit, the bullet time over the wall would be devastating, so they're not able to continue further. TP's going to come in, though. They want to try.
I don't know. Maybe they're going to try and maybe catch out Viper. No, they're going to go straight forward.
Is
now
risky.
They know it. The thing is, there was a zombie ward right there. This is super risky. You lose so much resistances from the debuff of Baron right now. So EDG, they need to try and just kind of get examples of where this Baron is. They need to know what's going on with it, but they can't. They can't get near the pit because TheShy is just too damn big.
He plays bodyguard, he zones them out, and Baron is secured for Weibo. The fight win is enough. There's a 4,000 gold lead in pocket. And honestly, they have been stellar on this one. Flandre really struggling to make an impact on this. Jayce, we've got to replay off the fight. So much poke goes down onto Huanfeng. As much as Scout doesn't find the engage here, the cast does chunk out the backline, but then he now gets caught up. And especially with the Glacial Augment, it's just so hard for him to leave the fight again. Ends up diving forwards, and that's what SofM commits. Remember, he has no stopwatch. The feathers just mean Jiejie can't follow up as well. Meiko gets absolutely shredded. And over the side, Flandre is trying to 1v1 TheShy. He doesn't care, he's just buying time, you know?
He's just a big meat bag right there. We even saw on the damage chart of that last TV. Yeah, big meatball, literally. As we saw on the damage chart, you know, Flandre did significant damage, but it was on TheShy, so no one cares. No one gives a damn about TheShy's health bar and what damage it is. Now we look at some of the items completed, fully upgraded there for Huanfeng. You've got a Medjai's Soul Stealer for Angel on the Ahri in the mid lane, and also an Anathema's Chains for TheShy. He's not going to die.
And you know, sometimes we see Ahri's damage fall off quite a bit if she's behind the curve. Angel is still doing really significant damage, and Medjai is coming in big there. Now, 40 seconds on this dragon. It would be soul for EDG, soul point for Weibo. EDG still want to contest this one, but Weibo have control of the area. I think the big thing is trying to land some poke from the Jayce, but there's body blockers in place who are just blocking them from connecting. Like, Shock Blast hits SofM, he does a bit, but it's not a crazy amount of damage.
You look at SofM's build, he's got the Black Cleaver, he's got, oh, the dash over the wall. Scout has failed the skill check right there. On goes Golden. Flandre takes a serious amount of crit damage onto him. Scout still hasn't gone down, he will finally fall, but you trade back as the flash in, and Flandre gets killed. Charm comes down from Angel, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 trade now as Weibo is starting to barrel in. Here we go, he flashed over on TheShy, he gets himself the cast. They're trying to defend the Viper, but he's dead. That's got to be it. There's nothing you can do. The 2021 World Champions are routed. They will not be going any further, and Weibo will proceed to continue in the playoffs.
And with how hard Scout 1v9 the previous game, this one ends with a bit of a misplay, but Weibo are convincing, they're unrelenting, and they secure their spot into the next round.
What a game, what a series from Weibo, and honestly, what a step up. This is just not what we expected. Again, we saw the predictions. Every single one of us, apart from Hysterics and Munchables, thought it was going to be EDG.
Yeah.
We had and I think every single indication of the regular season told us it was EDG.
And you know, based on the play coming in, it would have been.
Yeah.
But honestly, EDG looked sloppy. Individually, you still saw, like, Scout. I mean, the previous game, Game 3, Scout and Viper were absolutely exceptional. But we said coming out of that one, with how hard that was, it's not a good omen. And in this game, the execution was there for Weibo, bringing out some spice with the Zed jungle, but they were just consistently making it work. And there was members like Meiko getting caught out. You know, Jiejie finally had a good game, but the rest of the series was rough. Flandre... Anyway, you know...
We'll say some things about that in private.
But Weibo, man, they...
Look great.
They stepped up so... What a different team.
SofM was with his team. TheShy finally got some agency to him and was able to make things happen with his team. Angel was exceptional all game long, and Huanfeng as well. This Xayah really working out for them. And now your perception of how you approach this team, it changes very, very differently now. Weibo go into the next few rounds where they're kind of saying, cool, we don't need the Jinx, we don't need the Aphelios, we just need a good carry for Xayah in Xayah, and we can make things work in the bot side.
100%. And the thing is, this is like Huanfeng's natural territory, because he was picking up the Xayah even before the changes, right? It was kind of his go-to, particularly if like Jinx wasn't available. And so when we ended up developing this mini meta where it was Xayah's being contested by both these teams, he is so comfortable with it. And I appreciate Viper bringing out the MF. There was definitely times it worked really well. The laning phase went stellar. But later on, you know, I feel like it was almost, with that locked in, that was a signal for SofM to be like, I can pick the Zed. We will kill Viper when it comes to those team fights, and they delivered. And TheShy, man, that was a pretty good series. Off Sion, but still had like the Gragas duty. But man, just really exceptional play.
Honestly, it feels like TheShy has come back in, and there was a couple of, you know, we talk about it. Sometimes we feels like TheShy gets a little bit of a pass. It does feel like sometimes, even when he has terrible games, it's like, oh, whatever, it's TheShy. This is why. This is why he gets it, because it's just... He just pulls this out on everyone. He was solo killing Flandre multiple times, and he nearly did as much damage as the Jayce, and
he did more damage than Angel, which is insane.
It's just the way the man can play, the way the man can do it is just... It's just an enigma, and honestly, it did feel like...
It's Mojo.
You know what? It is Mojo. I'm going to give that one over to Munch. It is very much the Mojo, but I gotta